think while I'm out here, I'm gonna go over a question that I get asked almost daily, and it's you know, what kind of kayak do I recommend for fishing out here? Conditions, you know, that aren't always optimal, and you know, I think the easiest way for me to answer that is you want to buy a kayak that's shaped, you know, like a traditional kayak. All these newer big fat wide kayaks that everybody wants because they think it has the best stability really suck in conditions like this. Like they're made to feel stable in flat water. They're not stable in rough water. You know, so, and you got, there's a fine line too you got to follow. You can look at something like the Hobie Revolution, which is a fantastic offshore kayak, but you give up so much of that flat water stability that, you know, if you don't have a lot of experience and do everything right, you might flip in calm water. A lot of people ask about Hobie in particular, you know, and I like the Compass. I also like the Outback. They're both really really decent out here. Actually, I like the Passport too. All right, what do you think? You good? Oh yeah, you're good. All right, guys, that was a good one, right in the middle of my ranting about boats. Anyway, so yeah, I like the Passport, I like the Compass, I like the Outback. I'd be cautious right now of Hobie's warranty, for sure. Very, very hard to get parts, whether they're warranty or you want to buy them. The Passport 12, not the 10. The Passport 10 has no business being anywhere out here. If you're going to compare them, the Passport's got a very low seat, makes it very stable, but also can be pretty uncomfortable. Compass fits right in the middle. It's lighter than the Outback, it's faster than the Outback, it'll handle rough water better than the Outback because it's narrower, it's less square. The pointed bow really cuts through the waves nice. The Compass is a really good kayak. That's why I have one. You know, you're talking, it's 30 pounds lighter than the Outback. It's narrower, but it's less square underneath. So you're gonna sacrifice a little of that first primary stability. You're gonna gain a little secondary stability. The stern area is super big and wide, so you get plenty of storage. You know, no issues toting around 80 pounds of live well back there if you want. The cockpit gets tight, and there's not a lot of room. The Outback has way more room in the cockpit. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. The Passport also doesn't have reverse. So, you know, you're looking at $400 to add reverse to a Passport. You also should add the bigger rudder to a Passport. So now you're at $500. You know, now you're only a couple $100 cheaper than the Compass. So at this point, like, the Compass is kind of the one to beat, price for performance. ease of roof topping if you're going to do that. But yeah, as far as Old Town, the only boat they make that I like for rough water is the Salty, which is now the Ocean Kayak Malibu. The big water is just too heavy. Like if you have a trailer or a truck, sure, you still got to tote 200 pounds across the beach, but that's a serious you know, big water kayak. That's why they named it the big water. Let's see, Jackson, I don't know, the Coosa maybe. The Nar's too big. The Bite has no access into the hull. I wouldn't take it offshore anywhere. You can't pump water out if it gets in there. The hull design's good, it'll handle it, but they just need to put a hatch in it. Native, they have that Liquid Logic Man Array I used last year. Phenomenal, super fast. Definitely not a stand-up and fish boat. All their slayers are too big, too wide. I don't know, any of the Chinese brands, I wouldn't buy any of them. You know, I support American companies whenever possible. You know, Hobie's made in Mexico now, but is what it is. Okay, you know, it's kind of, we're getting down. There's not a lot of options. We're really running out of options for kayak-shaped kayaks. They're just not making them anymore. Everybody wants these ginormous barges, but yeah, is what it is. That's kind of the only advice I have on it, is buy a kayak-shaped kayak. But let's get back to fishing.